The biological desire to delay age-related diseases and extend healthy human life has birthed a $50 billion longevity industry. Yet the most proven method we have for extending lifespan does not come in a bottle. The absolute gold standard is caloric restriction, intermittent fasting, and rigorous whole food diets. Researchers like Dan Buettner codified these habits by studying the longest living populations on Earth, categorizing them into regions known as blue zones. Look at isolated populations in places like Okinawa. Their daily lives naturally integrate constant physical movement and dietary friction, resulting in highly active elderly populations. While this behavioral approach has a proven 100% return on investment in humans, it demands immense daily discipline. For modern, time-poor populations, a complete lifestyle overhaul is something they almost always abandon. To bypass that behavioral friction, the market offers a biological workaround: caloric restriction mimetics, or CRMs. These are molecules designed to trick the body into thinking it is starving without withholding food. The primary biological target of a CRM is triggering autophagy. Autophagy is an internal cellular recycling process that breaks down and clears out damaged, misfolded proteins. Mechanically, the promise of a CRM bypasses the stomach and directly signals the cell to begin this cleanup process, skipping the physical pain of fasting. You're trading massive lifestyle pain and time commitments for the ease of an expensive pill. The question is whether these low-friction biochemical shortcuts actually deliver a measurable return for humans, or if consumers are simply paying for expensive marketing backed by mouse studies. This scorecard tracks our ROI evaluation matrix. We will start with the first and most famous class of CRMs, polyphenols, specifically compounds like resveratrol and curcumin. These compounds generated massive media hype based on highly successful anti-inflammatory results in mice and test tube studies, but they suffer from a critical biological flaw, preventing a human ROI: poor bioavailability. The human digestive system destroys or flushes out the active compounds long before they ever reach the target cells. To counteract this poor absorption, you have to drastically increase your inputs, either by buying expensive, hyper-concentrated supplements or consuming physically impossible quantities of specific plants. Because the financial input is extremely high and the proven clinical evidence in humans remains frustratingly low, polyphenols are currently a poor pyropyrocopict. Next are polyamines, specifically spermidine. Unlike polyphenols, this class of CRMs relies on a much stronger foundation of epidemiological backing. The most potent dietary source of spermidine is natto, a fermented soybean dish that is heavily integrated into specific cultural diets in Japan. Large population studies show a specific correlation. Diets high in these polyamines are heavily linked to lower cardiovascular disease and reduced overall mortality. However, direct, isolated human supplement trials for spermidine are still in their early phases. Right now, they primarily show only mild cognitive benefits in dementia patients, rather than broad life extension. Spermidine offers a moderate, safer return. It effectively activates autophagy, but buyers must accept they are betting on epidemiological correlations, not definitive human life extension trials. At the highest price tier of the longevity supplement market are NAD+ precursors, such as nicotinamide riboside, or NR, and NMN. NAD+ is a non-negotiable coenzyme required for cellular energy metabolism. As humans age, our natural levels of NAD+ deplete. This split bar chart compares the severe financial input of trendy NMN and NR supplements against a cheap, highly available natural alternative. Dietary niacin, or vitamin B3, is found in everyday foods and accomplishes a similar precursor role for pennies. The clinical reality of supplementing NAD+ precursors is mixed. While they successfully raise blood NAD+ levels, the downstream improvements on human metabolic performance are highly variable and inconsistent across studies. Furthermore, artificially redlining these cellular energy pathways over long periods of time carries potential unknown risks, especially without proven long-term clinical endpoints. NAD+ precursors represent a high-risk financial bet. Consumers are paying premium, recurring prices for experimental cellular optimization with unproven long-term payoffs. Shifting away from expensive biohacks, there is an unexpected low-cost CRM candidate that millions already have in their medicine cabinets: D-glucosamine. D-glucosamine is a traditional, mainstream, and cheap supplement taken primarily for joint pain and osteoarthritis. This line graph illustrates the unexpected data. Massive epidemiological studies explicitly link regular glucosamine usage to statistically significant reductions in all-cause mortality and cardiovascular disease. The irony of the data is that its primary marketed use for joint pain is highly debated in medical meta-analyses, yet its secondary, unmarketed longevity effect as a CRM is showing robust human promise. Glucosamine represents the best biochemical ROI on the matrix. It is an incredibly low financial input that yields a statistically significant, albeit accidental, human longevity correlation. Stepping back from specific molecules, we have to evaluate the longevity landscape as a whole by looking at the hierarchy of evidence. This pyramid shows the massive reliability gap in longevity research. At the wide base, you have mouse models. In the middle, epidemiological population data. And at the tiny, rigorous peak, randomized human clinical trials. The longevity supplement industry explicitly exploits the bottom of this pyramid. They package and sell preliminary mouse data as finalized human guarantees. A CRM is strictly a mimetic. It only replicates a signal. It cannot overwrite the cellular damage caused by a terrible diet or sedentary lifestyle. This is the absolute unbreakable rule of longevity. Biochemical shortcuts are useless without a behavioral foundation. You cannot buy your way out of bad habits. This decision tree maps out how you can build a personalized longevity stack based entirely on your specific constraints of time, money, and discipline. For the pragmatic ager, the path means allocating zero budget to biochemical shortcuts. Instead, you focus entirely on behavioral inputs like exercise and blue zone dietary overhauls, securing the highest evidence-backed probability of success. For the time-poor optimizer, the path involves layering heavily researched dietary CRMs, like spermidine, and cheap supplements, like glucosamine, on top of a moderate lifestyle foundation. These optimizers must track their experimental biological bets. They use specific commercial age testing tools to verify if their financial inputs are actually altering their biological markers over time. Ultimately, you face a direct trade-off. You can pay for longevity with discipline and sweat equity, or you can attempt to pay with cash and experimental science. While only the behavioral grind has a 100% proven human ROI, the calculated, skeptical use of specific CRMs might bridge the gap if you are willing to accept the financial risk.